So I want to give some very, very practical tips
Okay.
for a lot of club owners out there on
Great.
what they can do right now before
Perfect.
they start planning
Yeah.
their,
I like that.
their spring into summer rebuilding program.
Hmm.
So number one, for any listeners out there that have a dojang here in Canada, the Canadian Bankers Association they put together sort of a playbook for small business owners, and I believe they've released some of that now, and they're making a huge announcement on Monday. But if you haven't already done so, if you're a business owner, I highly recommend you to call your banker, if you have your own personal small business banker, or just contact your local branch. I know a lot of branches are actually closed, with only kind of the main locations open, but you can call them. So I want you to contact them
Right.
and find out what they're doing in your area for small businesses. If you own your own unit or your own building, there's been talk of a 6-month mortgage deferral program. A lot of the big six banks are offering 10 to 20% increase in their credit line, no questions asked. There's also a program where they're helping small business employers subsidize up to 10% of their wages for employees.
Okay.
Now, I've talked to some of my colleagues
Yeah.
in California, and they say that their local banks have come up with a sort of a similar relief strategy. So if you haven't done so, regardless of where you are, call up your banker, email them, and say, listen, I'm a small business owner. I'm going to be facing some hardship paying the rent or the mortgage, or just paying basic expenses, loss of revenue. What sort of things can you do for me right now? Number two, write a letter or call your landlord and let them know that, listen, we're temporarily closed right now, and we may be closed for another few weeks, a month, or even a couple of months. It's going to be very difficult for me to manage our budget right now. Is what can you do to help me out with my rent payment?
Yeah.
Is there a layaway plan? Anything will help. Or if you have an idea of yourself or what you can do, I think during this time, a lot of landlords will try to accommodate you as best they can. And perhaps they are eligible for some sort of mortgage deferral payment on their end, which
Right.
then they could pass on the benefit to you.
Right.
So step one, call your bank. Step two, contact your landlord. Step three, dojangs, there's various sizes. There's smaller dojangs that have 50 to 100 students. There's medium-sized dojangs, 1 to 200 students, and then there's the larger dojangs, 300 students plus. So depending on your reality right now, you may have some part-time staff, you might have full-time staff, you might only have contractors, or you might have a combination of all three.
Right.
Regardless, you need to communicate with your staff what your plan is, because dojangs are closed. You may not be in a financial situation to pay your staff. And if you cannot pay your staff right now, you need to provide your staff with some resources so that they can apply for some employment insurance benefits. So you need to really help out your staff. I mean, your staff need to know that you're looking out for their best interest. When this all blows over, we're all going to have a business to come back to. But in the meantime, this is what you need to do. Here in Canada, if you're a full-time paid staff member, you're eligible for employment insurance up to 65% of what your normal salary is.
Right.
If you're doing live training and you need to call them in for 1 or 2 hours a day, consider topping up that extra 35% for them. Keep in mind that will be taxable, but at least it shows them that you're supporting them fully. If you're an instructor that's a contractor, maybe you're not a full-time employee. Well, governments are coming up with an emergency relief fund. There's some states, some provinces And here in Canada, we're lucky, they're offering up to $900 biweekly for people that don't have a job because of this COVID-19. So those are the 3 steps that all Dojang owners can take right away. Contact your bank, contact your landlord, and communicate with your staff and have them go on either some sort of subsidized payment plan, either from you or from the government.